But to have an industry expert with decades of experience in your space telling you that your business model makes sense, to have scientists from national labs saying that your business model makes sense, that's huge. My name is Nick Martin. I'm the co-founder and chief operating officer at Carbon Reform. At Carbon Reform, we're essentially seeking to democratize access to carbon capture technology. State-of-the-art carbon capture, as it stands today, requires a lot of energy and capital to grow and scale and capture meaningful amounts of CO2. We're capitalizing on the amount of air that already moves through the built environment through building ventilation systems, and we deploy a retrofit device that captures and permanently sequesters carbon dioxide on site at the building level into limestone. Our first yes, it means a lot because you go through a lot of no's, obviously, but for us, the best yeses, I would say, come from industry experts that can validate our core technology. Yes is great when it comes from, family or friends or maybe somebody you're randomly networking with, but to have an industry expert with decades of experience in your space telling you that your business model makes sense, to have scientists from national labs saying that your business model makes sense, that's huge. And investors believing in that is just the icing on top. Last month, we just closed our seed funding round, of which Plug and Play was a participant. I would easily say that Plug and Play is one of our most strategic participants in our round. They've been involved in the Carbon Reform ecosystem shortly after our inception. It's interesting, I often joke that you put out one email at one point to somebody at Plug and Play and it creates this crazy ripple effect to the point of now we're connected with the Japanese ecosystem, and I've been over to Japan to connect with major corporations there. I'm being connected to Europe and the Middle East, and it's a great way to spend $0 on marketing and connect with major corporations. So it's been single-handedly one of the most influential decisions that we've made to be part of the ecosystem. Some of the unexpected questions that came up early on were the logistics of our business model. We have to literally move tons of rock on and off our customer site. So in the form of limestone, we bring in lime into our process. So there's a logistical component to our technology as well. Some of the other questions are related to our team. My co-founder and I are both, at the time we were 26-year-old with maybe some limited industry experience. And I oftentimes think that the passion and commitment is vastly overlooked by some of the venture teams that we were speaking to. Really at the seed stage, as I'm seeing it, as I'm talking to other startups, investors are investing in the people more so than their industry experience. And we use their capital to hire those people with the industry experience, but we're ultimately the ones with the vision. If I could go back in time, I think I would have anticipated the longer cycle to raise money and just the intricacies and the various steps within it. It is not as easy as anybody tells you, and it's not as quick as anybody tells you. And for as connected as I was before Carbon Reform to the startup and entrepreneurial ecosystem, I vastly underestimated that. A piece of advice that I would give to future entrepreneurs is not be afraid to be yourself. For us, we are unapologetic when we lead with being a women-led and LGBT-led organization. And for even the times when people have said, maybe you don't want to lead with that, maybe you just want to lead with how your product looks. Don't lead with your diversity on your first slide. That's who we are, and I think that's important because it inspires what we attract as customers, suppliers, investors. We've had employees that we haven't even hired that have just recognized how much they feel validated by us being so open about who we are as a company. So I would say we need to be more authentic about who we are as entrepreneurs. We need to pay less attention to what society tells us we should be, and we should pay less attention to people who we think we idolize and more about what makes sense for us as individuals and for our companies, because chances are if you're true to yourself, you're gonna grow and be a successful company.